The Kansas City Chiefs woke up to a new reality after confirmation that Travis Kelce is officially out. The news landed with force, reshaping expectations across the league and within the organization. Kelce has been more than a player. He has been a pillar of identity, consistency, and competitive edge. His absence immediately alters the emotional and strategic landscape of the franchise. Analysts, executives, and teammates now confront questions that once seemed distant. Preparation, leadership balance, and offensive structure all face recalibration. For years, Kelce represented reliability in critical moments, providing stability when pressure peaked. This development marks a turning point, forcing the Chiefs to transition from familiarity to uncertainty. The chapter opens a new era, defined by adaptation, resilience, and redefinition, as Kansas City begins navigating life without one of its most influential figures. Travis Kelce's influence extended far beyond statistics. He shaped game plans, dictated defensive matchups, and anchored the passing attack. His chemistry with Patrick Mahomes became the backbone of Kansas City's offensive dominance. Defenses adjusted entire schemes to contain him, often unsuccessfully. Beyond performance, Kelce set standards for preparation, toughness, and competitive intensity. Younger players followed his example, while veterans relied on his consistency. His presence allowed coaches to expand playbooks and exploit mismatches weekly. Removing such a figure creates a void that cannot be filled by a single replacement. The Chiefs' dynasty years were built with Kelce as a constant, trusted element. Understanding his role clarifies why his exit feels seismic. It is not just production leaving the field, but leadership, confidence, and an identity forged through sustained excellence. Kelce's departure did not emerge from a single moment, but from accumulating realities. Physical demands, evolving priorities, and organizational timing all converged. Internal discussions reportedly focused on long-term direction rather than short-term emotion. The Chiefs faced a difficult balance between honoring legacy and embracing future planning. Kelce's decision, or the organization's acceptance of it, reflected realism rather than rupture. Such transitions are rarely dramatic internally, yet their impact externally is profound. Analysts observed how carefully the situation was managed to preserve respect on both sides. The exit reflects maturity within the organization, acknowledging that even foundational players eventually step away. This chapter underscores that elite franchises prepare for inevitable change, even when it involves iconic figures whose presence once seemed permanent within championship windows and cultural identity. Kelce's absence immediately reshapes the Chiefs' offensive structure. Route concepts, red zone priorities, and third down reliability all require adjustment. Mahomes loses his most trusted safety valve, altering decision-making under pressure. Offensive coordinators must redistribute targets and redesign spacing concepts. Tight end responsibilities expand across multiple players rather than one focal point. Timing, chemistry, and trust require rebuilding, often under game speed conditions. Analysts note that production may not collapse, but efficiency could fluctuate during transition. Defenses will test new alignments aggressively. This phase demands creativity and patience from coaches and players alike. The offense must evolve rather than replicate, accepting a different rhythm and identity. Kelce's departure forces Kansas City to prove adaptability, transforming challenge into opportunity through strategic redesign and disciplined execution. Patrick Mahomes now enters unfamiliar territory without his longtime offensive partner. Their connection extended beyond play design, rooted in instinct and mutual understanding. Mahomes must recalibrate trust across a broader group of receivers. Leadership responsibility increases as he stabilizes the offense during transition. Analysts emphasize that elite quarterbacks adjust, but the process requires time and repetition. Mahomes' creativity remains intact, yet decision-making patterns will evolve. The burden of situational reliability shifts elsewhere. This moment tests Mahomes' adaptability, not talent. His response will shape how quickly the Chiefs regain rhythm. Historically, his leadership has elevated those around him. This chapter highlights a defining phase in his career, where adaptability, patience, and command determine how successfully Kansas City transitions into a post-Kelce offensive era. Kelce's exit alters locker room dynamics significantly. His voice carried authority earned through performance and longevity. Leadership now redistributes among veterans and emerging figures. Coaches must manage this transition carefully to preserve cohesion. Clear communication and role definition become essential. Younger players gain opportunity but also responsibility. The emotional impact of losing a respected leader can linger if not addressed properly. Analysts note that strong cultures absorb departures through structure and shared standards. Kansas City's leadership core must reinforce accountability and unity. This moment reveals the depth of organizational culture beyond star power. Successful teams maintain identity despite personnel changes. How the locker room responds will influence preparation quality, resilience under pressure, and belief during adversity throughout the season and beyond. The front office now faces intensified scrutiny. Roster construction strategies shift without Kelce's guaranteed production. Draft priorities, free agency targets, and development timelines gain urgency. Financial flexibility may increase, but replacing impact is complex. Analysts stress that the Chiefs must avoid reactive decisions driven by nostalgia. Long-term vision outweighs short-term replacement attempts. Tight end depth, receiver versatility, and offensive balance become focal points. The organization's ability to plan proactively determines competitive stability. This phase tests executive discipline and scouting accuracy. Kansas City's recent history suggests preparedness, yet execution remains critical. The front office must align coaching philosophy with personnel reality, ensuring that strategic clarity guides every decision as the franchise reshapes itself for sustained relevance. Across the NFL, Kelce's exit reshapes perceptions of Kansas City. Opponents reassess defensive priorities and game planning assumptions. Analysts revise projections, evaluating how much production was uniquely Kelce-driven. The Chiefs remain dangerous, but uncertainty introduces opportunity for rivals. Division opponents sense potential vulnerability, while contenders adjust expectations. This shift reinforces how individual players influence league balance. Coaches league-wide study Kansas City's adaptation closely, seeking insight into managing similar transitions. The reaction underscores Kelce's stature and the respect he commanded. Kansas City now competes under altered assumptions, facing opponents eager to test resilience. This environment challenges the Chiefs to reaffirm status not through legacy, but through adaptation, execution, and renewed identity forged under pressure. Kelce's departure marks the end of a defining chapter in Chiefs history. Dynasties evolve through phases, each shaped by different leaders. Kansas City now transitions from one era to the next. Identity must be redefined through collective performance rather than individual dominance. This moment invites reflection on sustainability, culture, and adaptability. Analysts emphasize that great franchises are measured by transitions as much as peaks. The Chiefs' response will determine whether success remains consistent or fragmented. This chapter represents growth through change, not decline by default. With Mahomes still central, the foundation remains strong. However, the blueprint evolves. The organization's ability to embrace a new rhythm while honoring past success defines the next stage of Kansas City's competitive journey. Travis Kelce being out forces the Chiefs to confront a new reality with clarity and resolve. Loss and opportunity coexist in moments of transition. Kansas City now moves forward without one of its most influential figures, relying on structure, leadership, and adaptability. The franchise's strength lies in its ability to evolve without losing identity. This moment tests preparation, culture, and long-term vision. Championships are sustained not by resisting change, but by mastering it. Kelce's legacy remains secure, while the Chiefs' future depends on collective execution. The final truth is clear: the era has shifted, but the mission endures. Kansas City's response to this reality will define its place in the league moving forward, shaping outcomes, expectations, and the next chapter of a storied franchise.